Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today we are finally talking about what my predictions are for Tokyo World Champs. They are coming so soon. They start next weekend when I'm recording this. And I'm so excited to watch. I marked everything on my calendar, changed all the time zones over from the sheet of schedules that they have. So I'm so excited, and I would love to share some of my predictions with you guys today. But before I get into that, I do want to apologize for the quality of this video. I'm on a little family getaway right now, so my setup is kind of insane and not of the highest quality, but it's the middle of cross country season and I don't have another time to record, so we're going to roll with it. Today, I'm just going to cover the field events. I'm going to make a different video covering the track events because I know that video, if I did all in one, is about to be so long because I spent hours predicting every single event. Also, I do want to do some sort of challenge where ones I get wrong, I have to do something, but I haven't quite figured that out yet, so that will be in the next video. Also, I want to overview how I did my predictions. So I did my gold, silver, and bronze medal picks, and then I also did a wild card, which is either someone who hasn't raced a lot this year, someone who's a lot lower down the rankings, or something like that. I tried to not let my personal feelings get in the way for any of them, except some of the ones for the wild card. I would kind of let myself be like, I really think this person could. So I let the wild cards be a little bit more dictated by my personal feelings, but I tried to be as objective as possible for my actual medal picks. So today, since we're just doing field events, we're going to start off with my most confident one because it's the most obvious one, which is the pole vault, and we'll start off specifically with the men's pole vault. We already know Mondo Duplantis, the gold medal favorite. I mean, come on, it's not even close. I also do have my notes, so I will be referring to them throughout this video. It's not even close. He's literally 0.21 meters ahead of every single other person. He's going to win. For my silver medal pick, I have Manuel Corrales. He was also in my video of the most underrated track and field athletes, so I think very highly of him. He is second in world rankings right now, and he's the only other guy who has been over 6 this year that is on the sheet for world champs. The bronze medal pick was actually quite a challenge for me. I wasn't sure who to go with. I kind of wanted to put Reynald Laval just because I think it would be insane if he was actually able to take a medal. He is the absolute veteran, but I wanted to be maybe a little more realistic. I went with the Netherlands Menno Vloon. He did jump 5.96 indoors. His season's best is 5.92. So he's right up there, 6th in world rankings. And I don't know, I just feel like he is on the more consistent side. So that's kind of my thinking when I went with him. And then for a wild card, I did Sam Kendricks. He has not jumped anything crazy this year. He's jumped 590 indoors, but he does have that 606 PR, and he did come in with a silver medal at last year's Olympics. So to me, that kind of gives him some potential of maybe he could have a really standout performance from this year. And there is also something to say for the fact that these athletes are not always at full potential until the actual day of their event at World Championships, because that's what they're training for all season. Moving on to the women's side. Ooh, I just messed with my computer. Moving on to the women's side, I have this I don't think this is going to be crazily controversial pick. I have Katie Moon of the US, Olympic silver medalist, and she has the second highest jump in the world this year, jumping 4.85 meters, and she's first in world rankings. So for me, it was kind of an easy pick. The highest jump of the year was Amanda Mole indoors. I haven't seen anything that really like makes me sold on her for this world championships. She is still very young. That can kind of go both ways because there's some people that I look at them and I'm like, they're young, they could have a career defining performance. And there's some people I'm like, they're young, they're still developing. She does have the highest jump in the world this year, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it, especially because it was indoors and we didn't see anything so high from her during the outdoor season and things of that nature. In the silver medal, I have Sandy Morris. She has jumped 4.83 this year, so Molly Kadri is higher than her, but I don't know. She's second in world rankings and also has that 5-meter PR. I know that was, I believe, quite a while back, but I feel like she can pull it out at this World Championships. Although I did have Molly Kadri in the bronze. She has the third highest jump this year and fourth in world rankings, so a solid pick. For my wild card, I have Olympic gold medalist Nina Kennedy. Probably a little bit controversial to have Nina Kennedy, the defending Olympic champion, as a wild card and not in my medal picks. But just because she doesn't have a mark from this season, we have no clue what type of shape that she is in. I have no doubt that like if she brings her A game, that she is a very, very likely shot at a podium. But it's just like we have no clue what kind of shape that she is in. So that's why she's in the wild card for me. Moving on to clearing a different type of bar, let's go over to the men's high jump. And this one is probably also not going to be a surprise to basically anyone, but I have Hamish Kerr taking the gold. He is the defending Olympic gold medalist, so that's always a solid pick for world champs. Plus, he's been winning everything this year. He kind of honestly looks unbeatable. And I could not find it in me to put my money on absolutely anyone else. As far as jumps, he has jumped 233 this year. 3 guys have jumped 233. 2 jumped 234. So that would be, okay, I need to preface, I'm so bad at pronunciation. I should have said that at the beginning of the video. I suck at it. I look it up, I research it, I just can't get it to stick in my brain. But Senjuyak Woo of Korea and Olhe Dorsichuk of Ukraine have both jumped 2.34 this year. Dorsichuk did it indoors. But then we have the 3 guys at 233, Hamish Kerr among them. He is number 1 in the world rankings though, and he has just looked so unbeatable that I can't put money on literally anybody else but him. However, my silver medal pick may be controversial because this is where I think it starts to come into play, that kind of home court advantage of the Japanese athletes. Because Yuta Seko has jumped 233 this year, 28th in the world rankings, but I don't know, I just feel like at home, I mean, that is a very high jump, top 5 in the world this year, and I just think at home, he could really pull it all together and we could see one of Japan's very own on the podium, which would obviously be really cool, but I think that is kind of where the home court advantage, so to speak, will definitely play a role. And I have Sang-Chunak Woo of Korea in the bronze. You really can't deny that 234 outdoors, that has to be a podium favorite. For my wild card for this event, I put Shelby McEwen, Olympic silver medalist on the jump off last year with Hamish Kerr. Has jumped only 226 this year, but has a 236 PR, the same as Hamish Kerr. And it's one of those things where like you can just put together an amazing day or not, but that's why they're wild cards. I really had to like resist the urge to put Tambiri or Barsham as my favorites for the wild card positions. But it's just not realistic. I just really want it to be. I would love it if they proved me wrong, but I just don't think it's realistic. I couldn't do it. And on the women's side, this is tough because in my opinion, and in the opinion of lots of people, it's Nikola Alesagras versus Yaroslava Mahuchik. Mahuchik has the much higher PR with that amazing 210 world record, but if you look at what she's jumped, that's kind of an anomaly. She's obviously like top of the top. She is ranked number 2 in the world, but like that jump was just like, it was insane. So I did have Nikola Alesagras, the Olympic silver medalist last year, taking the gold here. She looked absolutely unbeatable, beating Mahuchik, I know, at least once this season, and she's just looked really strong. I do have Mahuchik taking the silver. Mahuchik did beat Alesagras in the Olympic final last year. I do think we'll see a shakeup this year. And for the bronze, I have Great Britain, Northern Ireland's Morgan Lake is one of 3 women who have topped their seasons out at 2 meters even this year, 5th in the world rankings, and I feel like she's just a strong performer in general. So I thought that was a decent pick. For my wild card, I put Vashti Cunningham. She's only jumped 197, but she has a 202 personal best. So I feel like if we could see her maybe elevate to that level, then that could be something that's really, could be a medal threat because she does have that PR. And that PR wasn't a terribly long time ago. So that's something to consider as well. I also do want to mention, I'm American. I try very, very hard not to unnecessarily or favor American athletes when it's not warranted. I try my very best to do that. But I know just as a product of who I'm seeing the most of in media and who I'm seeing the most other American creators talk about, I will have some inherent bias. I've really tried to minimize it, but there's just like, it's always going to be there to some extent. So I do apologize for that, and I do like want to make that known, but I really try not to be biased. It's just difficult because that's what I see all the time. As much as I would love to watch every single championship, and I do definitely try to catch the biggest ones as in terms of like national championships, I just can't always catch every single one, and I can't always look through the results of every single one. I do try to hit the highlights though. Anyways, with that little disclaimer being said, we can move on to the men's long jump. And for this, I know a lot of people are going to say it's 2-man battle versus Tentoglu and Furlani. I just think Tentoglu is going to run away with it. He has that 8.65 PR compared to Furlani's 8.38, and he also has jumped 0.11 meters longer than Furlani this season. Now, Matteo Furlani is still very young as well, so he could pull out something incredible, but I just think going with anyone other than the defending Olympic gold medalist in this event would be a mistake. However, I do have Furlani comfortably in the silver. He was last year's Olympic bronze medalist, 2nd highest jump this year, number 2 in world rankings. It just makes sense. For the bronze, I have Simon Ehammer, not Erhammer, that's a different guy. So I have Simon Erhammer of Switzerland for my pick for the bronze medal. He is one of 4 guys who topped their seasons out at 8.34 meters, but he has the highest world ranking of all of them, and he has an 8.45 PR to back that up. So I think that he has a really solid shot. As far as the wild card, this is one of the ones where I think I might be shooting a little bit in the dark, because I picked Jorge A. Holdelin. I'm trying to find his rankings. I'm trying to pull them up. Am I looking at the right event right now? Yeah, okay. I picked Jorge A. Holdelin of Cuba as my wildcard pick. I just wanted to pull up his specifics. He is another one of those guys who has jumped 8.34. And he is a really young guy, born in 2007. Like I said, it can be a mixed bag whether people perform under the pressure or fall apart, especially when they're that young. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. I didn't have really any other strong favorites for who I would pick in a kind of wild card position. So I was like, let's go with a young gun and see what happens. As far as the women's side, this is also pretty decisive for me because once again, I'm going with the defending Olympic gold medalist, Tara Davis Woodhull. She has jumped 7.12 this season. Next best jump is 7.07, so definitely not a huge gap, but definitely a little bit of a gap there. She definitely doesn't have the highest personal best in the field, and she has a number 2 world ranking, but I don't know. I feel like she can definitely bring her A game and perform. And she's the defending Olympic gold medalist, so we've definitely seen her pull it all the stops in the past. Then I had in the silver, I had Larissa Ipicino of Italy, jumped 7.06 this year for a personal best and a number 3 world ranking. And in the bronze, I had Hilary Capacha of France, who jumped 7.02 for a personal best this year. That is going to be controversial that I didn't put Malika Mihambo on this list. She does have, I believe, the highest personal best in this field. Yes, she has the highest personal best in this field with a 7.30, and she has the number 1 world ranking, but she only jumped 7.07 this year, and that was all the way back in indoor. So for me, I'm not sold, and I didn't want to put her on the wild card because it didn't feel right because she has that number 1 world ranking. I put Jasmine Sawyers for my wild card. She's jumped 7 meters even indoors for her personal best. Her season best is 6.89. I don't know. I like the way she jumps. Again, I didn't have any strong feelings about any of these players, but I thought that players, as if it isn't track and field, but I thought that it was a solid wildcard choice. So that's what I went with. The other jumps, I want to hear who likes triple better and who likes long better. I'm kind of biased because most of my friends who jump are triple jumpers, so I kind of usually prefer to watch that. But I mean, what do you guys think? Do you prefer long jump? Do you prefer triple jump? Let's talk about who's going to win the triple jump. I have the Olympic bronze medalist from last year as my gold medal favorite here, Andy Diaz-Hernandez. Highest jump in the world this year with a 17.80 indoors. 17.68 is the second highest for this year. Number 1 world ranking. Just not a lot to signal to me that it's not going to be a gold. Of course, the fact that that is a 17.80 from indoor, that always makes you proceed with caution. But I feel like his other accolades kind of balance it out. For the silver, I have a repeat silver from last year's Olympic silver medalist, Pedro Pichardo, who has jumped 17.47 this year. He does have an 18:08 personal best though, so could we see him upgrade to a gold? It's possible. And then for my bronze medal pick, I have Rutang Wu of China, second highest jump of the year. The only reason that I didn't put him higher is just because, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't find that many videos of him jumping, so maybe that is why I'm not sold, but I don't know. Also, that 1768 was his personal best compared to someone like Pichardo, where you know their ceiling is at least a little bit higher. I don't think I could actually find a video of that 1768 either. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough. I don't know, but I don't think I actually got to see that video. And then for the wild card, I put Yusar Muhammad Triki, of Algeria, who has jumped 7.42 this year, has the number 6 world ranking, and has also jumped 7.43 in seasons past. So very consistent, and I don't know. I feel like he could be someone who features, especially like for me. It also really depends like on conditions, because for me, I just like, if the conditions are bad, really anything can happen. So I feel like, especially for the jumps, the wild cards are a lot more likely if we end up with a race with really bad conditions. An event with really bad conditions. Also, sorry, I keep like rotating around. My feet are falling asleep. And then let's move on to the women's side of triple jump. And look, it's the women's triple jump. It's the women's triple jump. There really is only one choice here. I know she doesn't have a recorded mark this year, but Yulima Rojas, I just can't say that she won't win. Like, there's no one I think will win more than her. I have to put her. Like, it's Yulima Rojas. She literally has jumped further than anyone. Like, I have to. I do have last year's Olympics bronze medalist Jasmine Moore taking the silver. Jasmine Moore has also jumped the third longest this year with a 14:68. And then I have the defending Olympic champion Tia LaFond taking the bronze. Her highest jump of the season is a 14.62, and she has a number 3 world ranking. For my wild card, I know I said I wasn't going to put number 1 in the world rankings as wild cards. I won't lie, I put Leonis Perez Hernandez as my wild card because I just don't know what to make of anything. As far as that 14:98 PR, highest jump in the world this year, but it was indoors. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, she's only like 23 or 24. But I just don't know. So I gave her the wild card for those reasons, but I just not quite sure. As far as the throws go, we can move on to that. And another one that is kind of tight, but also kind of not. It's complicated because the next thing I want to discuss is the men's shot put. And for the gold medal pick, I have Joe Kovacs, last year's Olympic silver medalist. He also has the second highest throw in the world this year and the number 1 world ranking. So he has a PR of 23.23 and he's thrown 22.48 this year, and Olympic silver medalist. It was very close for me between him and defending gold medalist Ryan Krauser. I only put Kovacs over Krauser because Krauser doesn't have a recorded mark this season. Is that a mistake? Because I don't think that's a mistake, actually. He does have the number 2 world ranking, but I just am not sure because he doesn't have a recorded mark. I'm not 100% sure that's actually correct, but that's what it says on here, and that's what I'm going off of. And then for the bronze pick, I had Italy's Leonardo Fabri, the highest throw in the world this year, 22.82, which is a fairly decent gap back to second. He does have a 22.98 personal best, so he is pretty close to that kind of form. But I don't know, I feel like the Americans could potentially overpower him, especially in a championship setting. And their PRs are higher, which kind of makes me favor them, especially because neither of their PRs were too long ago, or at least they've been pretty close to it, like within a couple of, I can't do metric conversions. They've been pretty close to it within the past like couple of seasons. For my wild card, I had Peyton Otterdahl. I know a lot of people are going to have the US sweeping this event. I really think it will be hard to keep Fabry off the podium, but I do think Otterdahl could potentially be the number 3 if they were to sweep the event. As far as the women's side, I also have quite a few Americans. Chase Jackson I have as my pick for the gold medal. She has the highest throw in the world this year with a 20.95, which is a personal best. The next highest throw is a 20.69, but the next 3 highest throws are all indoor. So the next highest outdoor throw after her 20.95 is a 20.13. So that's a pretty big degree of separation, and she's ranked number 1 in the world. Something I think is actually really interesting is the top 4 throws of this year have gone to number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and in that order. And then 6 is ahead of 5, but it was almost all the way to 6. So I did have her taking the gold medal. I had Jada Ross, who actually threw that 20.13 that I just mentioned. I had her taking the silver for a US 1-2. Again, it's just because I am skeptical when the throws are indoors, especially when there's not a terrible amount to back it up. But Jessica Schindler or Sarah Milton, or obviously Ogunlele, I could definitely see playing roles. Did I forget about Ogunlele when I made this? Because I probably should have put her on here. You know what? It's fine. I'm going to mention that I think I may have somehow either not seen or skipped over her name when I made this. So please don't be mad at me that she's not on here, but we're going to go with it. And then I put Maggie Ewan, who has thrown 9.94 this year, as my pick for the bronze. She has thrown 20.45 in the past, so I did put US 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. I feel like that is a pretty solid possibility. I do think, like I said, I may have forgotten about Ogunlele, but Jessica Ramsey is also from the USA, and she is also really high up in these rankings. So a US 1, 2, 3 is definitely not all of the question. Oh, and Jessica Inchulde. Oh no, Jessica Woodward. There's 2 Jessicas right next to each other. Jessica Inchulde of Portugal and Jessica Woodward of the US. It's like right next to each other on this list. But so I definitely think that is a possibility. For my wild card, I put Madison Lee Welsk, the Olympic silver medalist, and also the holder of a 20.06, the 3rd highest outdoor throw of the year. I actually don't know that that's true. I don't actually think that's true. Never mind. Sorry, ignore me. but she is ranked 6th in terms of highest throws of the year overall. So I felt like a solid pick. If she has a good day, she could definitely be a huge factor. Moving on to differently shaped things that we throw. Aren't we loving these transitions? I'm like really trying here, guys. I'm sorry. I like don't know how to transition between topics. Like it's a problem. For the men's discus, this was a pretty easy choice for me. Mikola Selekna, he's probably going to win it. He has thrown a PR of 75.56 this year, which is like amazing, and he has the #1 world ranking. Honestly, for this event, my picks are not too different than just like the farthest throws, because I had the second farthest throw and the Olympic bronze medalist from last year, Matthew Denny, coming in for the silver for Austria. And then I had Sam Matisse of the US, who has thrown 71.27 for a personal best this year in that third position. I don't know, I just feel like he can throw better from watching him throw. I'm also not a throws expert though. Don't get me wrong, I have never thrown. When my friends throw, I sit there and watch for like 5 minutes and then I keep running around and doing a million things because I've always been interested in learning more about it. It just never seems to work out whenever I try to, or like try to actually watch people do it. As far as my wild card, I had Ralph Ford Mullings, 4th highest throw this year, #6 in the world rankings, and he's also pretty young, born in 2002, which makes him 23 or 24. So I feel like that could be a really good indicator that's setting the stage for a strong performance and possibly being a contender here. Women's discus, we're all going to be really surprised. Say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It's Valerie Allman. We all know it's Valerie Allman. Who else can you pick? She has thrown 73.52. Next highest throw is 70.72 from this year. She's ranked #1 in the world, defending Olympic gold medalist. What more can you ask of a girl? No one else could possibly be my #1 pick. For the silver, I have La Loga Tasaga. I'm so sorry. I know I butchered that. Second longest throw this year, that's 70.72, and has just been a strong performer for the USA. Also, I would like to mention that the top 4 throws of this year are all held by women of the USA. Well, no, that's not true. I keep saying that. I need to clarify this because I feel like I keep saying this and making this mistake. They're the highest throws, not of people who are in the competition of the year. So if there's someone who's not in the competition who's thrown farther, it doesn't show up on what I'm reading because I'm reading off the roster sheets. So when I say, I think I forgot to clarify this at the beginning, when I say, oh, it's like the highest throw of the year, the X highest throw of the year, it's the highest throw of the people who are competing. Just an important side note. But the top 4 throws of this year of people who are competing are all from the US. Valerie Allman, Lalenka Tsenga, Veronica Fraley, and Gabby Jacobs. For my bronze medal pick, I had Gabby Jacobs. I don't know. Her and Fraley have very similar marks, both through personal best this year. Jacobs has just been a little bit more of a performer in years past, so that's kind of why I picked her. And I put Bin Feng, the Olympic silver medalist from last year, as the possibility to spoil the American party. This year, she has only thrown 64, but her PR is 69.12, so could definitely be a feature if she can get a little bit closer to that. And she does have that #5 world ranking. She has been consistent in the past, so we'll see if she can pull something out and hop on that podium or be a contender come September, but it is September, come next weekend. Next up is the men's javelin. Let's throw some spears and see what happens. I have actually never seen a live javelin competition. I think that's the only event. Yeah, I think that's the only event that they have at World Athletics that I've never seen run live. That's a lie. I've never seen the mixed 4x4 run live. Those are the only two events that I've never seen run live, either at whatever level it may be. But I've never seen javelin done live, although I would really like to. I think it would be really cool. For the men's javelin, I do have the Olympic silver medalist from last year, Neeraj Chopra of India. Me trying to make sure I don't get it wrong. The number 2 world ranking, a 90.23 for a personal best this season, and the 3rd farthest throw this year. A solid pick. And I always will have a little bit of preference for people who have medaled at major championships before. Just makes me feel like they're more likely to do it again. So I felt like Chopra, a solid pick, and Arshad Nadeem, the Olympic gold medalist, I put in my silver medal position. Just because he has not thrown as far this year. His PR is a 92.97. He's only thrown an 86.40. But who knows? Because he can throw far and win global championships. So, but I just wasn't quite strong enough this year for me to say like, yes, like he is for sure going to win. And then for my bronze, I had Julian Weber. This is going to be so controversial because he has the number 1 world ranking and he has thrown the farthest this year. He's thrown a 91.51. So I know people are going to I know, I'm sorry. But here's the thing. He's 31 and his biggest championships where he's won gold medals have been the Diamond League, which he did win this year, and some European championships and European games. He has not, despite being ranked number 1 and having the furthest throw this year, which to be fair is a PR for him, he has not won at or even medaled at a major championship. So that is the only thing that for me kind of makes me unsure. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sold. So bronze though, I think it would be hard to keep him off the podium. He has thrown farther than anyone else this year. For my wild card, I put last year's Olympic bronze medalist, Anderson Peters. He has only thrown 85.64 this year, but he has thrown 93.07 in the past. So if he, once again, just like Nadeem, if he has a good day, he could definitely 100% factor. The only reason that he is not on my podium and Nadeem is just because of the fact that Nadeem has won a Olympic gold medal. So he can definitely show up. I mean, Olympic bronze, he can show up too, but it just, it's a little bit different. Next is the women's javelin. And for this, it's kind of, I won't lie to you, I was kind of taking shots in the dark here. But I took some shots. I put Haruka Kitaguchi, the Olympic gold medalist, as the winner. She's also Japanese, so she will be on her home soil, and she's the number 1 ranked in the world. She has the 5th farthest throw this year, throwing a 64.63, but she has thrown as far as a 67.38 in the past. So I think it's a solid pick, especially when you're in your home country at a major championship. She could definitely pull out something absolutely insane. Next, for the silver, I had Victoria Hudson of Austria, the furthest throw in the world this year, with a the first throw in the world this year of a person competing in this event. She has thrown a 67.76 and has the number 7 world ranking. Super solid. And then for my bronze medal pick, I have Norway's Sigrid Borge. She has thrown 65.66 this season and has a PR of 66.5 and a number 16 world ranking, which is pretty low, but I don't know. I just, like I said, was kind of taking shots in the dark on this one. And then for my wild card pick, I picked Elena Tezego of Greece. She's also pretty young, 23 or 24. It only has their birthday on here, that's why I'm not for sure. She does have a very impressive number 2 world ranking and a 65.81 personal best. She has also thrown 64.9 for the 4th farthest throw of this year. So she could definitely factor if she has a good day. Moving on to the final event that I'm going to be covering in the field portion of this video. This video being the field portion of a section of 2 videos. I'm over-explaining it. It doesn't matter. With the hammer throw, let's start with the men's. I searched it and it came up with the wrong thing. Let's start with the men's hammer throw. And for my gold medal pick, I have the defending Olympic gold medalist, Ethan Katzberg. Who can root against this guy? He has thrown as far as 84.38 in the past, has only thrown 82.73 this year for the 3rd fastest throw of the year. But, I mean, that PR is absolutely insane, and he's number 1 in the world. And the defending Olympic gold medalist. So, really hard to pick anyone but him, so I just couldn't. I have Rudy Winkler of the US taking the silver, in my opinion. Second furthest throw of this year, again, among participants in this event that are participating at World Championships. He has thrown an 83.16, fourth in the world rankings. Just super solid, and I feel like could definitely pull out something really, really impressive, along with the fact that personal best this year. And then Bente Halas, the Olympic silver medalist and the owner of the furthest throw this year. I would love to tell you it isn't my American bias that puts Winkler over Halas. Honestly, they are 0.02 of a meter apart from each other, have had very kind of similar seasons. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong choice to put Winkler over Halas. I'm not really sure. Also, I'm sure I'm butchering that name. And if I am so incredibly sorry. I don't mean to. I suck. I'm really bad at it. The thing is, Halas has 2 World Championship bronze medals in the past. That's probably why I wanted to put him in this spot, because he does have those 2 medals. And Winkler has not won at a global final yet. He is from my hometown, though. So, should probably make that disclaimer. Or around my hometown. My hometown has like 0 people in it, but my area. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I don't know. Feel free to yell at me in the comments if you would like. But for my wild card, I picked, why did I have to pick someone with such an unpronounceable name? I picked Greece's Angelos Montizoranis. He has thrown 78.61 this year, number 22 in the world rankings, but he is super young. He's only 21 or 22, so definitely could see an insane performance out of him, and I think that would be really cool. I always like to see young people have absolute breakouts at global championships. It just it makes me so happy to see their dreams get realized at the absolute perfect time. Anyways, moving on to the last event of this video, the women's hammer throw. And I have Brooke Anderson of the USA in my top spot. She's thrown the furthest in the world this year, a 79.29, and that isn't even her personal best. Personal best is an 80.17. She is only 4th in world rankings. Cameron Rogers is 1st, but she's thrown further than Cameron Rogers both this season and with her personal best. Again, when I say in the world this year, I mean in the world this year among people who are competing in the world championships. I feel like I made my point now, but I did put Cameron Rogers, defending Olympic gold medalist, in the silver medal position. That could be a very debatable for me. I could definitely go both ways. I just put Anderson because she has thrown further, but who knows? And then in my bronze medal position, I put Rachel Richardson. Probably not very original to just use the exact order of their season's best throws, but Richardson has had a really good season, throwing a PR of 78.80, and she is 10th in world rankings. So super solid pick for bronze medal in my opinion. And then Deanna Price is my pick for the wild card. She's thrown the 4th fastest this year. God, I am not original at all. But she has furthest this year. But she has an 80.31 personal best and is 7th in world rankings. So I feel like it's possible that we could see a US sweep. I don't think it's likely. I think there's like Cameron Rogers is going to be on that podium somewhere. But I do think it's possible, and I do think it's possible that Deanna Price will feature if we do want to pick, that 4th person, which is what wildcards is all about. So with that being said, that is all my field picks for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it ran so incredibly long. This is why I'm making 2 videos. So stay tuned for next time with my track predictions video. Hopefully that one will be A, a little bit higher quality, and B, hopefully I'll have a little bit more insight. I am a track runner. I don't do field events. I love to watch field events. I love to support field events. I just don't have as much on the ground knowledge about field that I do about track because I don't have personal experience with field events. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!